I think it was on the fence on whether to chase you off or eat you. It was debating and sizing you up. If it was old and injured, it was probably hungry and trying to decide if it was hungry enough to risk injuring itself further. Hell, maybe it was wondering why two idiots were out on a gravel road at night instead of a campground. Most Bigfoot attacks involve thrown rocks and twigs. They used to straight up murder people in the past. Actually, he didn't do much to try to intimidate you. He crashed through the woods a little. As for the baring of teeth/smiling, it probably thought it was hidden until it realized your friend saw it. Fire deters a lot of shit. Fire is something all animals are instinctively scared of. Even humans, except when we control it. We know campfire equals safety and wildfire equal death. Light would also expose it. You guys were in an open area. If it came out in the firelight, you'd see it. It obviously needed the element of surprise to attack, or it was using the dark to observe you.
First and foremost, I'd like to start this thread off with a fuck you to all the succubus larpers and other shitters on this board. So, I just got home after some weird stuff. Said weird shit happened about 2 hours ago in the forests of western Sweden. I'll even pinpoint the exact place for you guys on Google Maps when I'm done with this small story. All of this happened. I've got pictures and video. Unfortunately for the story, I guess, and I wouldn't be sitting here typing this out for you, so don't expect a grand finale that fucks you up for life. I just want to discuss this with some other spookers on this board. LL started out with some background info. Father and his family stems from the woods in question. Talking about them only strengthens them, the people used to say. Them in this case refers to trolls, goblins, dwarfs, the little people and all that. I was a Boy Scout. When I was a kid, our Boy Scout team was frowned upon by other Scout teams in the area because we didn't give much thought about Jesus, just pure nature and survival. Once, my father, who was one of the Scout leaders, decided that the Boy Scout team should hike by an old windshield shelter he knew from his childhood. Shelter was a couple of kilometers off the road. Said road is in the middle of nowhere too. Went there with the boys, had fun, swam in the waters, fished and carved dicks out of wood. One night when exploring we found that someone had put a giant wooden cross in the middle of the forest, about 300 meters thick forest, so we couldn't see it earlier from the shelter. Cool, we thought. Nothing else happens. Everyone goes along all happy. Fast forward to now, me, adult, no longer a Boy Scout. Me and my best friend has recently taken up out as a hobby again. Slept in the woods a couple of times last year. Bought a bunch of gear. We really like it. I really feel at home in these dark pinewood forests. I even get some sort of spiritual ease when just chilling on a rock or whatever. It's really weird. I have never been spiritual, whatever. It's great today. I got some lust for going outdoors after work. Start reworking my cheap fishing pole that I recently acquired. Haven't really fished for a long time either. So yeah, I'm hype as shit. New line that I managed to actually tie on myself without remembering any of the official Scout knots. New floater. Is that what they are really called? So yeah, gotta try this bad boy out. Fill my backpack with a pipe, tobacco and my power bank. Preload a bunch of podcasts on my phone to listen to while puffing and fishing. Yeah, I listen to podcasts while being in the woods. You elitists, kiss my GF bye-bye and tell her I'll be home when the sun has set. I go to the gas station and get myself some hot dogs and beer. Time to find a place to fish. There are people at all the good places. Remember the place we camped at from the op? Remember that Google Maps didn't even have that road when checking last year? Check it out on the map apps anyway. Oh, it's there now. Cool. Start the long drive. Tell my GF I'll be a bit later than expected. Get to the dirt and gravel road. It's real heavy. Shit is hitting the underside of my car all the time. Whatever. I really want to fish at the shelter, goddammit. Forest is getting thicker and thicker. Realize I don't have any cell reception. Laugh. to myself and say out loud that I'm fucked if anything happens to me, since like none knows where this place is. Finally get to the end of the road, recognize the turning point, nice, get my pack out of the car, and start walking the small path to the shelter. Oh shit, I forgot to say there were multiple big flat rocks standing by the side of the gravel road, as if they were put there by someone. Big stones though, no man could do it alone, almost looked like they could be used as signs or something. Nothing written on them though. Anyway, path ends by the edge of the water. Recognize the tarn's layout, or whatever. Lots of mountain walls by the tarn in different places. Realize that the forest is very quiet, no birds or anything. Whatever. Pick related was right next to it. Obviously man-made. Does anyone know what they are? Could it be like artificial beehives or something? They're not spooky, I'm just curious. But wait, where the fuck is the shelter? It's gone. The fireplace too. Well, whatever, rig up my fishing stuff, put hot dog piece on hook, because I can't be asked digging for worms. Throw line into water. Looks great. 5 seconds later, the floater goes down with the hook. No fish. It keeps doing it. Can actually see the breadcrumbs at picture. This is where it starts getting weird. Stand there, waiting for at least a roach to nibble on my expensive hot dog. Nothing happening. Is this lake dead? Suddenly hear a loud splash from the left of me. Look at where the sound came from. Can actually see the after splash. It was somewhere in the yellow zone on pick. Probably a beaver or something. Maybe really big fish. A northern pike or something. Keep fishing, looking around. Notice that there seems to be something sitting on top of the rock. Blue. Could be just a stump though. Whatever it is, it's really still. Keep fishing. Even louder splash again. Can't see the after splash now. Whatever. Realize I'm not comfortable. Not at all feeling it like I mentioned in the op. It's too quiet, except for the splashes that is. Splashes continue in like 3-minute intervals at yellow zone in previous pick now. Can't see what's hitting the water, but I'm just assuming beaver. They're real loud. Fucking beavers. No fish biting either. Just about to light up my pipe when I realize I haven't put on my podcast yet. For some reason decide to not use headphones to listen. Just let the speaker on the phone do the work on really low volume. I realize this sounds like complete creepypasta bullshit that I suddenly decided to not use headphones, but man, I just had a feeling that I shouldn't plug my ears like that. Sit there and listen to the podcast. Still no fish. Hear loud fucking cracking noise right in front of me on the other side of the tarn. Snap back to reality and intensely stare into the thick forest. Heart races for a little bit. See and hear nothing. Whatever. Keep fishing. Still no fish though. About an hour has passed now. Still no fish. Ever since the crack in the forest in front of me there has been no splashing. Can't keep my eyes off whatever is on the top of that rock. Feels like it's watching me, even though it's probably just a tree stump. Start becoming paranoid, listening intensely to my surroundings. Crack. Just like a really heavy man walking on dry sticks. From the same place as earlier. Crack again, and again, and again. In the timing of a man walking. This is no bear. This is no wolf. It could be a moose, sure, but I've heard and seen a lot of moose in my life living here, and no moose. When he's making noise, the podcast heart goes straight to fucking flight or fight mode. Pause the podcast in a millisecond. Absolute quiet. I was sitting at this point, so I shoot up like a dick watching Baywatch. Hold my breath. No sounds. Can't see anything. These sounds were more to the right though. Getting closer. Pick related explains it better. Realize, again, that there's been no splashing since the first time I heard it. No more sounds. Ain't taking no risks. I've heard way too many stories about these forests. This is the point I said fuck this, and started folding my fishing rod, and getting my shit in the backpack, all packed up, and ready to go in 3 microseconds. Let out a stupid scream. As to scare it away, if it's an animal. No more pictures now. Taking a picture was the last thing on my mind when I'm finished packing. I hear the fucking crack again, even closer. It came from almost by the barrel thingies now. It did not care about my feeble attempt at scaring it away. Start going straight to the car, don't even follow the path. Hear the crack again when walking, turn around, see something big and brown moving between the trees. Nope, start running. I'm a fat fuck, so this really tells how much I was panicking now. Fortunately the car was very close. When going straight through the forest, 15 meters from the car, hear a loud grunt behind me in the forest. For some reason pause, as to not make any noise. Survival instinct skill level -4, turn around, can't see anything or anyone, grunt again, run as fucking fast as I can to the car, slam it into gear, start going way too fast down the gravel road, car is gonna turn into spaghetti underneath. All I'm thinking about is to get the fuck out of there. Look in the rear view mirror for a split second. The brown fucker speed right across the road. The split second I'm looking into the mirror, that thing was bipedal. Couldn't tell if it was fur, or clothes or scales, or whatever. Fuck, even faster down the road now. Get some way down the shitty gravel road, calming down now, feeling ridiculous, see something by the roadside, something that is not a flat rock put up like a sign. It's a fucking coffee pot, a fucking old-time coffee pot all rusty and shit. It's fucking nailed to a tree. Remember my dad telling me stories of how grandma used to tell him how they were forced to give human stuff to the forest beings to keep the peace balance, and that's it boys. Web related, of course. Taken from inside my locked car, of course. So, what was it? What the fuck were those barrels? What the fuck was the thing on the rock?
Remember my dad telling me stories of how grandma used to tell him how they were forced to give human stuff to the forest beings to keep the peace/balance. That's low-key spooky. Thanks for the post. I'll try making a video out of it. See what happens. I'm from Argentina, so you won't understand a single shit of what I'm going to say. But I'll make English translation just for you.
Okay boys, op here again asked my dad. He basically laughed and told me to fuck off, and that there's nothing spooky in there. Grandma didn't answer the phone today. TFW anticlimactic end to the story. Sorry, friends, I tried.
What are the properties of bears? I've seen bears in the wilderness near my house and they capture my imagination. They have a strong presence, like they carry a lot of weight. What are the magical/spiritual characteristics of bears? I want to know the bears better. They are dangerous but very special.
Bears spend a lot of time unconscious, hibernating. It's an interesting animal for sure. There's the bear who will maul you and eat your stomach alive, but yet I still see a gracious animal living on God's earth, conscious of its creator and fulfilling his duties and living as he was intended. I wish I could be a bear once a year in springtime and go grab salmon with my huge claws, climb the highest peaks and watch the sunset with my bear eyes. Many northern tribes believed that a bear was their forefather. For example, in Russian Karelia as late as in the early